Hello world. This is the exodus of our podcast. It's nice to whoa, starring your favorite 5 people in the whole world: Drew Johnson, Bailey, the Exorcist Kelter, Kristen Meredith Walker, Kayla McGibbons Childs, and Anthony Can't Smile That Large Childs, whatever his last name is. So we are talking about a little movie came out in 2017 called Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Man, these titles are getting longer. So what we're going to talk about today is The Last Jedi. So first we're going to go a little round table and talk about what our immediate thoughts were. But before that, I'm going to give a little statistics for you guys. So Star Wars The Last Jedi and Rotten Tomatoes. Guess what the score is, guys? Oh, sorry. Let's introduce the people first. So
83.
That's Bailey.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to actually put it closer to where Anthony put it. I'm going to put it at 87, 89.
That's good. Keep your voice right there. That's good. Kristen, what do you think the score is on Rotten Tomatoes for this movie?
17.
Nope, you're dead wrong, as always. Rotten Tomatoes score, I gave it a 93. Metacritic got an 86. Force Awakens got a 93 as well, so it's like the exact same score. Metacritic for Force Awakens only got an 81. IGN gave The Last Jedi a 9.7. IGN is kind of like just reviews.
IGN's a cop-out. It gave Battlefront 2 a way too high score, and then it slammed it down, and everyone got pissed off about it. So,
yeah.
I mean, if everyone gets mad about this movie...
We're not here to talk about the bad stuff of Star Wars, right? We're talking about the interesting stuff. So, this is a sequel to Star Wars that got rebooted last year, in 2015. So it's a big deal. It's a big franchise. Guess what? This is the longest Star Wars movie of all time. It was 2 hours and 32 minutes.
I could tell.
And you could feel it.
Yeah, we could tell. We could definitely tell.
Guess what the other longest Star Wars movie was?
Episode 3.
Yeah,
wow,
episode
you were
3.
right. How do you know that?
Because you can also feel that.
You can
one.
also feel how long episode 3 is.
I just love those crane shots of Anakin and Padme looking across the city. Those are really good though.
There were a couple really cool shots.
It was like The Revenant. I mean, it was that level of like that.
Except it wasn't on location.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was all blue screen.
Lots of green or blue.
It was blue. That was.
All right,
the rough
so
part.
we're gonna screw the potatoes. We're going straight to the meat. We're going Bailey Kelter. Without going into spoilers or plot, give me a yes or no. Like, amazing, terrible. I hated it. Kristen's the worst. How much did you like this movie?
If I had to give it a score, I would give it a 6 out of 10, and Kristen is the worst.
Oh, that's not amazing. I gotta say, Kristen, how much did you like this movie?
Good.
Good. I'll put that as 7.
Okay.
That's it. You good or? You thought it was good.
I think so.
Okay, Kayla, what did you think of the movie?
I think it was pretty yummy.
Okay, good leaning into the mic. Anthony, if you give a score 1 out of 10, what would you give it?
Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and say that every movie is a 5 out of 10, and then it goes either down or up from there. So I'm going to say this was a 6.
Ooh, that's interesting. I'm really gonna love our argument going into this because I'm gonna give this movie a solid 9 out of 10. It's okay. Listen, and poor Bailey hits me over the head of Kristen's spine. It was definitely a good movie. It had its flaws, like any movie. It had its flaws. But first, before we get into like Last Jedi stuff, we need to address the elephant in the room, which was everyone's opinion towards The Force Awakens. Because there's someone in this room for no reason, I don't know why. Her name rhymes with Istin, where she hated Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Okay, listen. I watched it another time because I'd only seen it once, I think, and I watched it again the other day, and I was like, hey, it's not as bad the second time around.
None of them are bad.
Not us bad. What?
Yeah, they're not necessarily bad.
They just reflect the larger issue with Hollywood.
Yeah. The first movie for Force Awakens, I thought it was okay to do a whole homage to the fourth movie, at least just the one time. Mm-hmm. But
you didn't want this to be like Empire Strikes Back, right?
Yeah, and it really felt like Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm. That's
like the whole movie
again.
It felt like
Strikes
an
Back
homage.
back.
Yeah,
And
it felt like an homage again.
Yeah, and that's a fair statement because Force Awakens was if you watched any honest trailer or heard me snoring in my sleep, it was a retelling of Episode 4.
Yeah,
Force Awakens is Episode 4 basically, aka just A New Hope. Right.
Yeah.
Like there are problems with that. Like I'm glad it wasn't like I'm glad that episode 7 wasn't just like a bunch of like politics boardroom meetings where it's like, oh, the Senate, we must evacuate this trade tariff from the Naboo system in order to like. I'm glad they're able to like a
It
soft
wasn't
reboot.
episode 1.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It
bad.
wasn't. It wasn't that bad of a reboot
Okay.
to the Star Wars.
Yeah, and I thought like it gave like a great 30 years jumping from episode 6. It gave a great reboot and like showing like 30 years have passed. Like Carrie Fisher and who's Han Solo? Han Solo, Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
They all
yeah.
look like they're like dinosaurs.
They are
and they are really old.
They are.
And
Some of them are even dead.
Yeah, that's a little harsh.
Too soon.
Too soon.
We'll talk about that later, but yeah, so Force Awakens was good. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't treading any new ground per se, but it set up so many great mysteries, like who are Rey's parents, like what is going to happen in the future, like it's just so many great things that you don't know. Like,
Can I spoil something?
okay, yeah, we're okay. Well, so that's our general thoughts. And 1 second, Bailey, we covered Force Awakens, so let's talk about a few more things before we just slice right into the plot. Do you think for a movie like this and like Force Awakens, do you think there was too much hype for this movie?
Definitely.
Yeah, a Star Wars movie is gonna get too much hype unless it's like Episode 3 or something.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely had too much hype. Not for me personally, but like the general public. Obviously, it's like very apparent, and I think that that sometimes either can break a movie or it can make a movie, but unjustly.
Yeah, which I think it did.
Yeah, I think that like obviously people were like clapping and like screaming the whole time in this movie, and I think that the hype for it.
Could you guys please be quiet?
Okay, so there was this lady sitting next to me who's like shorter
Never
than me.
finished my thought.
Oh, sorry, Anthony. Continue. Talk a little.
This is gonna be like history class last
Yeah,
year.
give it to me, Anthony. Come on, give it to me straight.
What was I saying?
You're saying it was unjustly
right.
hyped.
No, yeah,
Unjustly hype. Yeah.
like just because everyone like it gave the audience what they wanted.
Crowd pleasing stuff.
Yes, and it was not a bad movie.
It just
and
didn't-
it was not an offensive movie
Yeah.
to some people.
Like Transformers or something, or like offensive
It
is
just-
like bad.
No, just
just-
like
It didn't push the envelope.
it didn't push the envelope. It didn't go anywhere. It didn't go into risky territory in terms of like social commentary. And not that every movie has to. And honestly, I think that
Okay.
you can
Anyway,
cut out.
anyone who doesn't know, Anthony's a Christopher Walken-esque Jeff Goldblum.
He has a thought and then he loses it, and then he
Max
changes
Landis.
and then he changes the thought to something very, very great.
And then he
Yes.
like follows that thought, and then he just forgets what's happening, and then he's like, "Who are you people? Where am I? What year is it?" But Anthony, we understand.
Mild-
what
years
Mild Alzheimer's.
you're- Make sure you lean into the mics, guys.
The very
Um,
beginning stages of
So yeah,
dementia.
that is definitely like hype. But like, would you say that like Mad Max Fury Road something that's something that had hype and like kind of just met expectations? Like,
Oh, yeah.
do you think?
Definitely. That
Yeah.
that was adequately hyped. It was adequately written, and it was adequately received.
Yeah.
And there was
were
an
no words.
Yeah, it
Okay,
was.
but-
It
but-
was what it was. Okay,
But but that was because we kind of knew that going in. Like, I don't know if you guys saw Dunkirk. Well, we all
Yeah.
saw Dunkirk.
We all saw
Kayla
Dunkirk.
Kayla didn't come with us to see Dunkirk.
Boo.
I had a complication.
She had a complication. Okay.
She was pregnant.
Again? How many times? You just can't get it right.
Yeah.
No.
Gotta keep trying.
No, but that had very little dialogue. That was adequately hyped.
Yeah.
And it did a good job of not just. I mean, that was a different kind of movie.
Yeah.
Even though it was rated PG-13
It-
for a PG-13 movie, like that
that
was
was
a very
R-rated. That was R-rated.
that
It was.
Dunkirk.
Oh, not Dunkirk. Sorry.
Dunkirk was
We're talking
PG-13.
about Mad Max.
Yeah. Sorry. Let's go back.
Okay.
Let's just go back.
Back to
no,
Mad
no, no,
Max,
no,
yeah.
back to Shut up.
Yeah,
back
but none
back
of
to
this
Star Wars.
matters.
Back to
It's
Star Wars, yes.
And
Star Wars,
one
yes.
thing that's a big thing to me about like how we judge a movie is that like if a movie is exactly what it sets out to be, then I appreciate that movie for being what it is and like accomplishing. Because when Mad Max set up a goal, it's like it's this insane world. Like it's setting out to show this insane world and show us some awesome action and stuff. But in a movie like Triple X: The Return of Xander Cage, that is a dumb action movie. That's
We expected it to be dumb.
yeah, exactly. But it set out to do something, and it kind of did, but it doesn't make it a good movie. So that's one way to judge something. So Star Wars, like The Force Awakens, for example, let's not dive back into it, but like that is a movie that set out to reboot a franchise, a soft reboot of franchise. And in my opinion, even though like some of the like tricks are dated, like it did kind of accomplish that goal for me personally.
For me, I think that on this kind of road we've come down, it's really the difference between like how are we viewing this movie? Like, is this like basically
it's expectations.
It's the difference between viewing a movie as art and viewing a movie as a way of storytelling and viewing a movie as a way of individuals expressing themselves, and then the other side of the spectrum where you have people viewing movies as purely entertainment.
Yeah.
It was that
as entertainment, this succeeded
entertaining,
as entertainment, and it was entertaining. And
would I bring my kid to it? No.
I mean, I would.
Yeah.
But like, it's really just this is not a film. This is not a story. This is a perpetuation of
Star
tale,
Wars.
a
Yeah,
saga.
because they have more motivation than just like telling a story and being an adventure.
Yeah, the
like they have to
motivation-
get
Nostalgia.
other things across.
Yeah.
Which like
So you're saying
Like,
like,
they
it
have to
hinders
stay
the
Star
it hinders
so
the actual.
yeah, so we're saying
thing.
that like as opposed to like a new IP where like they just create something like amazingly new, like being attached to Star Wars, which has been around for the last 30 years, like they're inhibiting themselves.
They're not
Yeah, there's
taking
no
Yes.
development.
they're not taking a risk is what they're doing. They're doing the same old what they know because it's what will bring in the most viewers and
Old people.
Yes, as Kristen is pointing out right now with the little symbol
Money.
money. Yeah, it
And the
brings in the
finger.
most money.
And if you have something that doesn't feel like Star Wars, then you
They're gonna
have
hate it.
people losing
Yeah.
their minds.
Yeah.
Which is the problem with Force Awakens because it's too Star Wars.
And
Yeah.
and the Last Jedi. There were too many references and sort of quips and a lot of forced jokes. I found that there were so
Yeah. There were
many
a lot of
forced
Yeah,
For
because movie makers
character
are making
developments,
movies
too.
like Marvel movies now.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
true.
it's Disney doing its thing
This is
and ruining it.
This
If
is
they had just
this is no longer a saga of stories. This has become
like a mini episode,
this has become a
running
cinematic
gun.
universe. Another one run
So
by
you're
Disney.
saying-
it's just our annual. Let's all go to the movie theater, watch the Disney movie, and be entertained for 2 hours, and then forget
right.
about it.
So you guys view this as kind of like they're not moving enough things forward for it to be passable as like this is a new movie. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So and that's very fair because like my favorite example of this is like in the Orange trailer for Stranger Things 2 or whatever. They talked about how like life sucks now. So go back to the magic of the 80s where everyone can ride bicycles in neighborhoods and not get kidnapped by brainiacs. And it's like it's so true where it's like
Brainiac, not get
Bra-
kidnapped
the
by
I mean,
Brainiac.
they were still getting kidnapped by maniacs. Just people weren't.
when
as aware.
Pokemon Go was happening, people
They were
just
getting kidnapped by Demogorgons.
yeah, basically.
Yeah, it wasn't actually maniacs. It was the
Yeah,
government
yeah.
the whole time. It was to get kids to stop
still-
riding their bikes around and
Yeah.
snooping on the CIA's business and all the
still haven't
covert
watched-
operations
still
they
haven't
were
watched
doing
Stranger Things
in
too,
our
so don't-
neighborhood.
Okay.
I'm just
Yes.
messing with
Moving
you
on,
guys.
moving on. So yeah. So that's it's nostalgia is gonna follow Star Wars. That's just what it is, right? It's things it's a
Star
something-
Wars is nostalgia.
Yeah,
at this
it's
point.
something that has come from the past that people have just hung on to so much, like my dad and like our parents, that were just like that's their thing. And like if they don't, if you're saying if they don't get like their healthy dose of like insulin / like nostalgia, they're gonna die. That's what people try to serve to.
Because you have to think about it like this, like in 30 years when like the next generation like comes around, they're not going to look at
I don't
our
think-
Star Wars now and be nostalgic about that. They're still going to be nostalgic about the original
I don't
trilogy.
think there's going to be a Star Wars in 30 years.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm
I
saying
mean, like in the
just-
future, like I think after this trilogy, they're done.
Well, yeah.
We're gonna
this
Star
movie-
Wars
They're
every
gonna
year
run it-
until I
But
die.
They're
this
going to run it into the
movie,
ground at some
they
point,
have
and
it
then it'll be
down-
done.
They're gonna
They
Walking
have-
Dead it and it's just gonna get
If
so
we-
bad.
If you talk about like Rogue One,
Rogue One.
Rogue One, like I did not like that.
Oh, I loved Rogue One.
I know they're gonna keep making spin-offs.
it's
Just
just a
now they have the
story.
Han
I
Solo
don't know.
movie.
You mean
I don't
Kristen,
know.
you mean the
Rogue
Han
One-
Solo
Rogue One-
solo movie?
Exactly.
Rogue One was a character-driven story, and it was a very well-told story, which is why
It
it
was
got.
not character driven.
It was definitely character-driven. They developed what's her name? The main characters.
No, they did not.
All right, everybody stop.
She had
Hold
to
the phone.
make no
Shh,
choices.
Kristen.
Okay,
it was
you're
still a
just
good
talking
movie.
about that one video about passive versus
All right,
active
guys.
characters.
Let's no. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. We got way off the rails. So
Okay, I have something to bring it back on topic.
Okay, whatever. You're gonna talk to, so sorry. Give me a second here. Okay, so we're gonna just slice right into the plot of the movie, and I will just say these things about the plot. Brian Ronson, or whatever his name was. Who
Ryan Johnson.
My last name is Johnson. This movie, it's got problems, but one of the weirdest things for sure.
At least you admit it.
Yeah, one of these things is for sure is that like the director, they took so many ideas from the Star Wars universe, like the Force, for example, and like we've always had the basics of the prequels where we have like everyone can do a Force push, everyone can levitate stuff and whatever, and even Rey says that at one point, like you can make stuff, you can make stuff float and whatever, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Right.
but like. He took so many liberties where it's like, okay, everyone can do astral projection, everyone can do multiple arms for some reason, everyone can do backflips like Yoda or something, and like the Force is like a religion or whatever. It's like a force that's in all of us midi-chlorians, as Qui-Gon Jinn explained, the great Liam Neeson. But this movie,
Darth Plagueis.
It's very interesting. So let's just go right through it. So. What do we think of the characters? What do you think their development? Rey's, Kylo Ren's.
I'm gonna go ahead and just start, and I'm actually gonna start with Snoke.
Ooh.
Because
is he Darth Plagueis or not?
No, because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
anymore 'cause
Yeah, he's
matter.
dead. He's dead.
And why is he dead?
Are we sure he's dead?
Why is he dead?
Are we
Because
sure he's dead?
Yes, we are
He
100%.
was cut in half.
He is
Darth Maul
not.
came
He
back
is
in the-
not.
Darth
No,
Maul
no, no.
came
He is
back in the
not Darth
comics.
Maul. He is not Darth Maul. He's not
That's
Darth
not
Maul.
canon anymore.
Oh, darn.
That'll always be in the canon. The Spider Maul. We all saw Clone Wars. We all remember that,
Oh,
except for
good
you
times.
two girls.
Nope.
Yeah, except for the girls.
Ahsoka's bae.
The girls.
The girls. No, plot wise, I think it was literally a rinse and repeat of 5.
See, I
But like there was like it was sort of backwards. Like the whole hot sequence, they put the whole hot sequence at the end.
so they are mixing it up. They're totally mixing
They
it
were
up.
really
No, they
good
literally-
at covering up
Yeah.
the repeat.
It's
yeah,
like- it's
exactly.
like-
They just
yeah.
took separate scenes and put them out of order. Like
Bailey, you are not even in your chair.
I know I have to lean over into
You're
the mic.
levitating.
Bailey
above
is
the
like
chair.
planking somehow.
I'm like
the end of his
I'm,
belt buckle.
no. I'm like what's her name?
You're
Rey.
losing it right
I'm
now.
like Leia when she's like out in space and then
Yeah,
she
okay.
pulls herself back
Yeah,
in.
okay,
Like, what is that?
listen,
What is
listen,
that?
Listen, there was like silly like I said, it's nostalgia, but they repaint it to make it better or make it look like, hey, it's a new movie, but we repainted it and everything's different now. And that's a thing it's visible in this movie. But like, you're right. There are so many like when okay, so here's what happened. So Leia gets killed in like the cockpit of like the main cruiser, and I thought
Yeah, the battle cruiser.
Yeah, the battle cruiser. I thought for a second, like instantly, like okay,
She's dead. She's dead.
We obviously know Carrie Fisher passed away, unfortunately, like last year. And we know that, okay, so she's dead, so they must have, like, re-edited that.
They're going to kill her off. Like, that's what everyone was thinking.
So,
Right.
so I thought. So, because they re-edited it, so, like, oh, she's going to die in, like, a spaceship now because they can't, like, film her a new scene, like, all digitally with CGI. They did it with Tarkin, but they're not going to do it with her.
They're going to do it with her.
Yeah. I thought it was, so it's like, oh, I was like, okay, she's dead, so that's great. Like that was the way to do it because, like, Carrie Fisher's gone, she can't make new stuff. But then when she, like, Man of Steel flies back.
Yeah, she literally pulls a Superman and
there
flies
was-
back into the cruiser. Like, what?
And I think that like that scene was kind
The
of
turning
just
point?
no, not the turning point, but just like
When we
a
realized this movie
reflection
was-
of like the main problems with this movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
there's just so much BS just littered
They had to
throughout
take
this
so
movie.
much liberty with the Force in order to make the script work that it basically it pissed off a lot of people. It pissed off me. And I was very upset by it because first off, we had never seen her do anything with the
Yeah,
Force
nothing at
before.
all.
Like she had sensed stuff with the Force, and all of a sudden she pulls herself back into the ship with the Force.
She can fly.
What?
Also, don't you guys know all Jedi can fly? It's just ability they all
Since
have.
when was she a Jedi?
Also,
Leia
can
has always been a Force user. Are you kidding me?
But we haven't.
no,
we haven't
she's been
seen her-
Force sensitive.
Yeah,
development.
she's Force sensitive, but we've never actually seen her use the Force before.
Exactly.
And then when she gets out of the med bay, she blows the door off the cockpit that what's his name
Blows the
that
door.
The bridge.
yeah off the door to the secondary bridge that what's his name Poe Dameron takes over when he takes over
that guy's handsome.
when he kicks out the purple-haired feminist.
I hate
admiral.
her so much.
Yeah, I think we all had like a
Okay.
lot of animosity
Is she
for
the
her
new Jar Jar
because
Banks? Because I can't decide what they're trying to do with her. Because she is.
she was like Disney's just like little nod to like.
What
to
is
like
what is she
purple-haired
from?
feminist
She's like
professors.
the mom in Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
she
course she
kind of
is.
is,
No.
but
I was like, did you just walk out the set of Nashville and someone put like
Yeah.
a diamonds thing on your like
Yeah.
temple? Yeah, sorry, Kristen's having a hot debate in the corner right now
with her mother, I believe.
with the FBI. She's undercover still, but she just blew it. Oh, I
Yeah,
just
her
blew
mom
it.
is the FBI.
We don't like punch the mic. You're good
I
right there.
wasn't.
You're right there.
Oh, okay,
Sorry.
thank you.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how Kylo Ren is thick?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that was
He's
one of those forced jokes. So
The Last Jedi, more like thick boy sword fights.
oh my god.
Yeah, I
No.
thought Kylo Ren looked so good in this movie.
Kylo Ren.
Okay, but
what
that
are
wasn't
they
the
doing
point.
with him?
Okay,
Like,
but that was one of those like forced joke
Jokes,
moments.
yeah.
That like it wasn't like one of those you really had to think about it. Like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Like it was like, oh well, that's obviously
Yeah,
like
and-
awkward, and I guess we should laugh at this.
See, like, that's humor is kind of confusing to me because I'm like, I agree if like, okay, like Force Awakens had a lot of humor, and I'm okay with that.
Wait, did they mention him being thick?
No,
That's just Kayla.
no,
That's
but
just
like
Kayla off screen.
remember how they have the how Kylo and Rey have
Yeah.
the mind connection that Snoke makes. And like,
Oh, right,
yeah,
and
and
she
sees
said,
him.
"Put
yeah,
something-
yeah,
yeah,
she
okay,
says put
yeah.
something on, and like it was one of those forced joke moments. And like,
I wish he was just naked and just like rated R and just saw everything.
No,
That's how funny that'd be. Or,
that
like,
really-
maybe,
that
maybe
really
it's like
would
in
have
the
been
past,
funny.
so, like no one has like a junk anymore because it's in the past, a long time ago, right?
Anymore?
No.
What?
wait,
They're all Adam.
ever did?
They're all Adam. He has like a star in the sky that's like he's missing
He's
a
like,
rib.
He has
I
a
don't know if
star
you
in
guys
the
have seen.
sky
I don't
where
know
his
if you
junk
guys.
is.
a scar in the side.
There's a star
Oh.
man waiting in the sky.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys
In
have ever
his
seen
junk.
this.
Stop quoting Prince quotes and just move on, Kristen.
I don't know.
David
If,
Bowie.
It's David.
okay, I don't know if any
David
of you
Bowie's
guys.
dead.
So is
So is
Carrie
Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, yes, yeah, surprise.
Oh God.
But have any of you guys seen The Strain? Like
Oh,
the
we're moving
vampire,
on.
the vampires in that show don't like have a crotch.
Okay,
It's really
when-
weird. That's what I thought of.
When the Weasley boy was on screen, I honestly thought this was Spaceballs.
Oh yeah,
No, I
Commander.
know, this
Hawk-
So
yeah.
is
much
such-
of this felt
oh
like
my
a parody.
God.
So-
All I can think
and-
of is
and-
Tiny. Hey, it's Tiny Tim. How did he get in this movie?
I need to say something really
All
important
right, Anthony,
right
go
now.
ahead. It's all you. Say it.
Okay, this is a problem.
You have 30
This
seconds.
is what I was referring to earlier with the larger problem in like Hollywood in general. Like everything starts to feel like a parody of
It's
itself.
all corrupt,
and
man.
it just becomes like you have like it's like Star Wars and there's nostalgia, but all of a sudden, like at some point in this movie, it starts to feel like
I've been here
this
before.
is a parody of Star Wars. Like
Yeah,
there's
Deja
things about
vu.
this
I
about
have
Star
been in
Wars
this
that this
place
movie
before.
is actually
I
making
have-
fun of.
I can definitely see that. I mean,
And a
'cause-
lot of movies do that. Like even like any kind of really shared universe, honestly, is doing that right now.
Yeah, Marvel just loves to laugh.
Oh
and stuff.
gosh, Marvel. Yeah,
And that's like Thor Ragnarok. That was basically a comedy action movie, and like comedies like that, they're definitely for like, okay, this is kind of comedy movie. We can
They have
accept
their
this.
place.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Star Wars.
yeah,
but Star Wars is like supposed to be like kind of this grand opera.
Yeah, I don't like to laugh when I'm watching Star Wars.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
they're-
mind. I
they're
don't mind a
trying
few.
to appeal to younger people, but it used to be more boring, you know.
Yeah, I just want more
They're trying
Anakin
to
saying.
appeal to little kids and their
Sad.
single feminist moms.
I want Hayden Christensen more. I want him to come back as a Force ghost. Hayden Christensen say,
Yeah,
I
Yoda-
like sand.
Okay. So we hadn't seen this, and this is what you were saying earlier about like they were really stretching stuff with like the Force, like. With Yoda, Yoda comes back and literally interacts with like the physical world.
Yeah, lightning.
Like
bolt.
he
He's
lightning
Thor now?
bolts. He lightning bolts the
Tree of life or
yeah
something.
the Jedi
cactus.
tree thing.
I'm sorry, Anthony Christensen. Are you having a little like?
Yeah, they're making they're laughing at me because I'm leaning into the microphone
Oh
so
my
much,
God,
and
Anthony
Anthony
missed-
That
and
is
Anthony
not- that's
Anthony
not
almost
what I'm-
yeah
Anthony
Anthony
just
almost
punched the
broke
mic
his
of Kayla's
microphone.
forehead. Wow.
Yeah. No, I have to lean over like
I
this
gotta add
because
in like a
her-
cat screaming
her
sound
chair's-
effect.
Her like the microphone's kind of over Kristen's chair, so I have to
Oh,
like lean forward.
Kristen, I didn't realize that you were a feminist. Like,
Touching my leg.
Well, I'm bumping into it because I have to like support
Oh,
myself.
so
So
you're just
like I have to
bumping
put,
into
no,
it
I
now.
have
It
to put
doesn't
my like
deserve
hand
touching.
on her. I have to put my hand on her chair because if I
Star
don't, I
Wars.
literally fall.
Yeah.
I'll literally
listen,
fall
the
for
thing
it.
is, this movie isn't for nerds anymore, and it's lame.
It was
It's-
the original trilogy wasn't for nerds either.
But at the
Yes,
same
it
time, like the
was.
old Star, like so I get the like Force Awakens was like a comedy. I like that. Like,
this
Force
movie
Awakens,
is for
no,
nerds.
no, no, no. Okay, listen.
That's the problem.
Yeah, it's supposed to be for nerds. They advertised it as
Yeah,
that.
listen. Okay, yeah, exactly. But listen, I was expecting like if you watch all the original trilogies, there's not a lot of jokes in there. Like it's just Han.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just
But
Han being all like, "Yeah, I'm gonna smoke some cigars or whatever."
Yeah,
That's not-
there's
it's just-
humor, but it's human humor. It's
Yeah.
not a writer humor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's
in
not-
this movie.
Maybe because they have it down to a science.
In this movie, they have like a
It's
full
not-
like nod the wink, and they have like memes in the form of weird
Oh
birds.
yeah, they do.
Guys, can we talk about the weird wildlife?
Yeah,
They-
the penguins and the weird.
And he
it makes-
milked. There was giant like breasts
Tits,
of a
yeah.
giant.
And he drank blue milk.
Yeah, what's
It
up
was
with that?
blue.
He
Yeah,
like
like,
drank
you notice?
Straight
He
up,
literally
like,
drank.
okay, man, I get
It
you.
was like this
He did
stegosaurus.
it
I
so
just, like, there was
savagely
no
too. He
point
was just
of
like,
that.
I'm drinking this milk.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I see now. Well, I see why you picked this planet, Luke. That's a pretty interesting lifestyle you're choosing there. Like that's straight up. I might as well just
Yeah.
like milk like a goat and just like put it in the sun for
But
6 hours and then drink it.
It wasn't that. It was like a weird stegosaurus meets a seal, and it's got like 4 giant tits on its belly.
Yeah, it's
it was
like-
so
it's the size of, like,
disgusting. It
bowling
wasn't
balls.
necessary. Yeah, it was disgusting. I didn't really want to see that, especially in a Star like. I don't know. I just didn't want to see that in a Star Wars movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
but listen,
That
listen.
wasn't necessary, like-
another dumb thing I hate so
Steven
much.
Spielberg
I kind of like
directing
the
this
wildlife and everything, but I
what
didn't
it
see
feels
the
like.
point. Like none of them had uses. They were just like
They
there
follow
to-
the-
they were there to look cool.
The
were
foxes.
literally-
They follow
everything
the
was for
foxes.
show.
They follow
They
the
were
frozen
literally
foxes.
no. They were literally like Jar Jar Binks. Like they were all comedic reliefs.
Yeah.
They were all
Yeah,
comedic
Ewoks.
reliefs. Like the little penguin thingies were just comedic relief. They
They
were
were
just
pretty cute,
They
though.
were just they were
I know,
cute.
they were cute.
I
They
know.
were
They're
making
like,
them cute, but they were just comedic relief. That's
I'm-
all they were. They were literally Jar Jar Binks.
And we
that
don't
didn't
need
talk.
that. This
Yeah,
is a
that's true.
lighthearted
Yeah,
movie
that's
on
true.
its own.
Oh, listen. So one thing about like the comedy and stuff is that like while we're talking about comedy and stuff, there's one thing I have to address about nostalgia. And like while it is kind of like okay, wow, they're like wow, they just tripped over the Millennium Falcon. He's like, oh, I didn't see. It's so old, I didn't see that there. Or like when like Finn is like, they really hate that Millennium Falcon up there when they're like he's in the skiff or whatever.
Yeah,
But like when I saw Yoda, I was like, oh, it's a puppeteer. Yoda.
Okay,
That's actually
that
pretty
scene was
interesting.
really good.
I was
Yeah.
okay with
Yes,
that.
yes.
So,
Despite-
so moving past the nostalgia, let's go into like the actual plot of like, because like when they cut away, when Rey was on the island, I'm like, this is the most interesting on screen right now. But then when like Finn and that Asian woman are having like a Fast and
I
Furious,
don't care about either of them.
yeah, and they went to like
Yeah.
apparently they walked onto the set of The Great Gatsby or something. They were just like in
Yeah.
like a casino for
Yeah,
no
that
reason.
was ridiculous.
And
That
I'm
was
like,
literally like-
let's go back to the island because like what's happening there is so
Benicio del
interesting.
Toro was so good, and he was in it for like 5 minutes.
Was it the guy who was like,
Yeah, he was the hacker. He was the hacker. And he's basically like a representation of how they should all be at this point. Like they should all be fed
Yeah.
up with the war. They should all be fed up with the fact that like the story has repeated itself a million times
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
and
and instead they're just
yeah,
running
and
around
I
saying
actually
one-liners to the
I
camera.
really wanted like Rey to go with like Kylo and just burn everything.
Yeah,
just
that would be
burn.
so
just
much more
please,
interesting.
Finn-
just,
that
just
would give Finn-
finish this
that
stupid
would give
circle
Finn
jerk
the
we've been in.
tides.
That would give Finn something to do to like Ray. I've known you for
Exactly.
10 seconds. Please come back to the light side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like they're taking that whole thing that George Lucas said about how everything rhymes way too seriously. Like you don't have
Oh,
to
yeah,
say
he did say that.
You don't have to say the same lines over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's-
but let's go like I'm thinking about like the plot and like I was thinking like so this is the second sequel. This is a sequel to like a reboot of like okay so this is gonna be Empire Strikes Back. There's gonna be a moment where it's like join me, Ray, and we can rule
I
the galaxy
was
together.
praying to God it wouldn't be
Yeah,
Empire
because
Strikes Back.
Kylo Ren straight up said like we can rule this galaxy together.
Yeah, he literally
Word for word.
quoted Darth
from Hayden
Vader
Christensen, from
yeah.
Darth Vader,
Yeah.
from all the bad guys. And like I feel like we're gonna hate this movie more and more. But one thing I have to hate, the bombers, dumbest idea ever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's have a starship.
Why-
Let's have a starship that moves like slower than like a
And you
Toyota
have-
Corolla from like 1990. And let's have.
I drive a Corolla
Sorry.
from 2002 and it's very fast.
I said 1990, but like,
oh, well, there you go. 12 years
and,
is
like-
all the difference.
and they drop
Actually, it is.
bombs and like.
And you have to be directly
Yeah,
over your
I dropped the
target.
bomb.
Yeah.
I'm like
Well,
thinking,
well-
hey, isn't there no gravity in space? How are they dropping?
Yeah,
except
that was
also same scene. That girl opened the
The hatch. Yeah, and she doesn't
was
die.
fine.
She
people
opens the hatch,
breathe in space
exposed
now?
to the she exposed to the outer
Asians
space.
can.
Yeah, Asians can. That's
Too far.
Wait, no, wait. Are you talking about like the bomb doors open?
yeah.
beneath?
When the bomb doors open and the girl that like drops the bombs, she doesn't even have a mask
Yeah,
on.
it's like
I thought-
pressurization,
No,
nothing.
I thought that like there was like
Yeah.
a ray shield that like
No,
dropped
no,
through.
no, no, no. And you saw-
Wait,
and
wait,
you-
sorry. When you go like,
Sorry.
be careful. But
Yeah, when you saw in the other scene, like the guy in the other ship opened his door and he had a mask on with like an air, like literally a
Yeah.
rebreather and like all sorts of stuff on him.
But she wasn't supposed to be there because there was someone else who's supposed to be the bombardier. Remember?
Yeah, but like,
I guess they all should have masks, so I'm not gonna
but yeah,
defend
she
this.
should have had a mask. And also the fact that every single bad guy's ship in Star Wars gets destroyed from a singular point is pissing me off at this point because they literally just bombed
It
this
was,
one
it was a lot of bombs. I mean, like
There was a lot of bombs, but it was only in this one little part of the ship, like right in the middle.
Yeah.
And I was like,
They should really- they should
Stop
really
building
remove-
things
like-
to have chain
They
reactions.
should
Death Star.
remove
Hold
those.
up. Death Star 2. Giant planet.
Star Killer base.
Yeah,
That was
Star
it was a
Killer
planet. It
base.
was totally different. It was a whole planet though.
Okay, well,
I'm
you
not
think
gonna
for
defend that,
something
you're
smaller
right.
like a ship, they would figure out, hey, let's not make a singular point where, like, if it gets blown up, the whole ship doesn't.
I think that like the
Like-
people who like have been making the same things for 30 years, like it's like an
just-
alien,
they
like who's
just-
just
they're-
high, and he's like, hey, what if we like made like a TIE
No,
fighter, but
no,
it's
no.
black this time for like the new order? Oh, dude, that'd be so sick. We could just paint
No,
it
it's
black.
just-
That'd be
it's
so
just-
great. It'd save so
It's
much
just
money.
the same. It's just the same stupid writer
Yeah.
who's like, hey, let's
Hey, be
hit this
careful on
central
mom's.
point.
Be careful on mom's table here. She values more in Kristen's life, so make sure it's not bleeding over. Okay.
She doesn't even know me.
She does now.
Nice.
Mom, meet Kristen. Oh, Kristen, nice to meet you. It's bad.
That was a good bit.
I was trying to
And-
interpret my Indian Ghodesian
10
mother,
out of
but I
Okay, but
couldn't.
anyways, going back to the character thing that started this whole thing.
Yeah, characters.
There were
Characters. characters.
There were three.
What characters?
Listen, Weena. Okay, there were three sets of characters. We had Kylo and Rey, Finn and Rose, Poe, and the women on the ship.
Am I right or am I right? Poe.
None of them
Kinky.
worked. None of them worked, and no one cared about any of them except for Kylo and Rey. That was the best part of the movie.
Yeah, that was. And like we going back to it, like what like this movie is long. I'll give it like that is a long.
Yeah.
It is a long movie, and like because like I was thinking because the Finn and the Asian woman, I can't remember her name. Rose.
Yeah, Rose.
That's weird in Star Wars universe. But they just cut back to them in the casino, then them like in hangover jail, and then,
They're-
like,
Yeah, there's
They're
no.
trying. They're
and
trying.
like,
rhythm.
and like they didn't even accomplish
didn't-
anything.
yeah,
They
they didn't-
revealed more. Like
The
they're like,
problem
oh, because
is-
of you, we know where the transports are going now. Like this is your fault that we now we.
Like it was
Can I-
only by accident that BB-8 ran into that guy, and then whoa, they found them. Wow.
Yeah.
You mean the
freed-
There's
evil
so much
BB-8?
happenstance
we freed the
that you just
animals.
glaze
Yay,
over.
we're doing something good.
There was way too much need to have a willing sense of disbelief. And can I say about Kylo and Rey? The reason Kylo and Rey's relationship or their dynamic, I would say, works is because the studio and the writers took the time to develop those characters. Whereas with Finn and Rose and like Poe and all these random characters, they haven't developed them.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about them. And that's
That's
the
true.
issue.
Like, okay, what they did with Luke was so smart. Like, following him around on the island, drinking the milk, doing whatever. Like, that was so smart. We got to know, like, what he's been doing for the
The last
past
30
million
years.
years.
Basically.
just drinking a
He's-
bunch of
yeah, he's-
weird milk
He's
and
been drinking weird
bowling ball
like,
milk.
Yeah,
Yummy.
yeah, like Stegosaurus seal titty
Yeah,
milk,
let's
which
stop
is
saying
weird.
tits. Oh, my bad. So it's, so like there's a bunch of dumb stuff there. The characters weren't that great, but like I said, the most interesting stuff was on the island. And like when I found out that like what I've been wondering for the last 2 years is like what's Rey's origins? Is Luke her father? I loved it so much when Kylo was just like, oh yeah, your parents were just like total jerks on Jakku who just sold you for beer or something. Like
I don't think that's true. I think
Really?
that's a lie.
No,
Yeah.
but like not everyone has to be like the son of Luke Skywalker because like there are a lot of people who are just force
That's-
sensitive out in this world. It's like having
that's
like
true,
pink
but
eyes or something. It just
I
like
still-
happens in the world.
But I think a bigger issue with that is that
It wasn't
I don't
very-
care
yeah.
who her parents are anymore.
Really? But that's the big thing because like
No,
I know,
because,
but like
because
they're playing it up as this big thing, and it's just like, yeah, I'm sure like
problem-
most Star Wars fans are like who like they care a lot, but like it's just as a story, like I don't care. It
just
doesn't
don't-
matter.
well,
It
here's-
doesn't
here's-
matter.
here's
Unless
why-
it
here's-
isn't some like plot twist or anything.
Well, no, here's why it doesn't matter. It's because it hasn't affected Rey's decisions in any way. She had the chance to like join up with Kylo and figure out who her parents were and find them. but she basically just blew off the chance to find out who her parents were, which should be a critical part of her story, but it just goes to show she doesn't really care. Yeah, she doesn't care either at this point.
Yeah, she didn't. Because that shows off her, but maybe this is... I read that as...
Yeah, so I guess we shouldn't care. She doesn't care, we shouldn't care.
Yeah, but I read that as I'm willing to sacrifice not knowing who my parents are to help the galaxy or bring balance.
But it doesn't matter.
Kylo,
the mirror showed her that it was just her. It doesn't matter.
Kylo even said that she already
just
knows.
reproduces by herself. Is that what you're saying, Christian?
Yeah, she's a midichlorian.
Yeah.
She already knows.
Yeah, I think
that's what he was saying.
Yeah, she knows
he
deep
told
down.
her that she already knows.
So she wanted, so she was
so she still doesn't care. She hasn't cared this whole time.
She was kind of being wishful thinking. Was she thinking oh, I wish I had an important father, but I'm oh, I am nothing, because she keeps saying I am nothing. So does she believe that? That's a good. You're making me hate this movie, guys. But
that's our goal.
All that matters is who she is now, not where she came from.
Exactly. But at the same time is we spent a good time with her on that.
Past doesn't matter.
Destroy everything. Quiet. The
Shikwadi bye.
No. So the past doesn't matter, but so we know that we know from the end of this movie that she has goals of I want to bring balance or something, but at the same time oh, she made her decision not to join Kylo or whatever, but what does that mean for her now?
I don't understand why she made that decision in the first place.
I don't know why she is because I don't know why she's with the good guys. Honestly, we still don't know. We don't know why she would care about this.
She was long live the rebellion, but there was no reason for her to believe that at all. Yeah. Her and Kylo had such a real thing.
Yeah, because
it would have been it would have been better if they established her as someone who just doesn't care about the war at all.
Yeah. Also,
because at this point she kind of already doesn't.
Finn.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with the thing,
Finn is literally the worst.
Yeah,
Finn is just a one-liner machine.
And the worst one-liners possible.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's you know what he is? He's Hollywood's token black guy.
Oh,
he really is.
We really went
is.
there.
He really
the
really is.
The second black man in space. You're really gonna persecute him now.
No, but
First it was Lando. Now it's Finn. Bailey, we're going all in.
No, I actually
I'm gonna go even farther and say that Finn is the black guy that all white women wish all black guys were.
Oh, just white women? No Asian women?
Yeah, Asian women.
Well, the thing was, you could say that
here we go.
They brought in Rose, and they have Finn, and they have these culturally diverse characters,
which is nice.
Going on an adventure by themselves, and they have their own storyline. And then you have Poe and all the women who are controlling him, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're in charge. Oh man, sit down." And so they're just using all these progressive themes to move their story. But none of their stories matter. They're using the story
as a way to further their
okay. Can I back to Kylo and Rey real quick? It was clear that Rey could influence Kylo very, very easily.
Yes. That's why I thought they were related.
Well, no. It would have made sense for her to join Kylo because she could clearly influence him and guide him to
anyway.
Yeah, that's where I thought the story was going, which made a lot of sense. She can guide him towards the light, even if he takes even if he goes power crazy. She can still get a grasp on him, and we saw it. We saw her do that, and. I mean, he killed Snoke.
And I thought that's
she got him. She got him.
Literally what she said she was going there to do.
The way I
she was
viewed
trying to turn him, and she didn't. She literally didn't stick with it. She just sort of gave. Yeah, she gave up.
See, that's what almost makes me almost side of Kylo Ren more, because he's just screw this, we're gonna burn everything down because
exactly. He has the most character motivation.
Yeah, I love Kylo Ren. He is the
and
best
Kayla,
part
am I right?
Of
but
all
is he
the
thick
movies.
or is he thick?
He's thick. He's got a good character.
His nose
He's got
is
a good nose.
He has the
nose.
Michael Scott nose.
Also, he is a brilliant actor.
Yeah, he's
also
good.
I love
so good.
also I love the fact that he was in the armed forces. That's part of the reason why he was in the armed forces and he got injured.
So
he
really?
Yeah. So that was actually part of his story. He got in. So he was in the armed forces
as an actor or as Kylo Ren?
No. Before he became an actor, he actually was in the armed forces. He got injured, then he had to leave, and then he started doing. I think he went to New York. I think I'm getting this right.
New York.
Yeah, and he started acting and doing a bunch of other stuff. Apparently, he was big into acting before, but So he started doing that, and apparently that's where his career took off from.
Yeah,
but I mean, like he's such a respectable guy.
He's definitely good.
And he's
one
such
of the
a
best actors.
Yeah, he is definitely. I would say, aside
the
from
best
what's his
actor in
name,
these
So
movies.
guys,
Wait.
let's
I guess I'm gonna say about Star Wars.
lean in,
Okay,
Carly,
okay.
Kayla.
All right. I think they just didn't like work out the script that great because I feel like they couldn't make Rey like join Kylo Ren
Yeah,
because
because-
they
exactly.
needed a last Jedi.
So I have a question. So
Yeah.
let's dissect this whole like final decision and confrontation.
I
with
thought
Snoke.
the Last
No,
Jedi
no.
was gonna be like
I
Luke,
know,
and
okay,
then
one second.
Kylo and Rey were gonna be gray together.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
what I thought they were setting up as is like I thought it'd be like kind of like
That would have been so good.
That would've- that would've-
I'm a genius.
Shut up. I wanted to view. I was hoping that like when it wouldn't be the classic like join the dark side. I hoped it'd be like this whole kind of like this whole like black and white gray where it'd be like
yeah,
oh my gosh.
shifting into the middle
Like,
together.
what if Kylo
and
Ren
have them be
Yeah,
siblings.
what happened to
No,
the balance?
Let me talk, guys. Let me talk, please. Kylo Ren should have been like, listen, the Jedi were corrupt and they led to Emperor Palpatine issuing Order 66 at the height of the power, just like Luke said. And Kylo Ren's like, the Sith are bad, the Jedi aren't that good because they're all hypocrites. You and me, Rey, let's reorganize the new order. Let's start a new alliance. Let's all do surrenders, but then make it so like there's another player, and like maybe Snoke was still alive or something, but Snoke was dead, but. I thought like, well, how amazing would it have been if it was like this really like black and white where like everyone like we would talk about it, we'd be like, oh, do I side with like Rey's thing? Do I side with Kylo's thinking? But Kylo's like after he killed Snoke, I'm like, oh, this guy redeemable? Like because he straight up killed Snoke. That's a good thing, right? I thought like, okay, so maybe Kylo Ren is redeemable. Maybe he can just like he owns the First Order now, so he's just going to change everything. But then when he just said, let's rule the galaxy together, let's destroy the Resistance, but not the New Order apparently because they're my lackeys. I was just thinking like, oh, they really are just gonna go, hey, like, oh, you think Kylo Ren's the good guy? Oh, he killed the bad guy, so that must mean he's good. Oh, he's not. He didn't change his heart like Darth Vader. He just became bad again, and he's just straight up bad. There's no conflicting anymore. He just like let's rule the galaxy. Like, I would almost want to see Rey because like, would he kill his mom? Would he kill Luke? Hey, he wants to kill Luke. Yeah, he wants to. He's like, let's kill Luke. I just killed Snoke.
No, but to me, like when Kylo was like talking about the whole thing where he was like, forget the Jedi, like forget the Sith, forget all of this, like that sounded like he was talking about like what Luke was saying.
Literally,
and honestly, it's like what Luke was saying the whole movie was what made the most logical
we've seen
sense.
that. We've seen that before in Star Wars mythology. This is my inner mega nerd coming out. But there's a whole story about a guy named Darth Revenant, and he literally says, "Bump the Sith, bump the Jedi. I'm gonna go make my own little gray side order."
Yeah, like this whole like thing of like all the way on one side and then having another party all the way on the other side. Like that's not what brings balance. That's what brings conflict.
That's
on
not
a major
what life
galactic
is. Life
scale.
isn't that like black and white. Life has a bunch of grays in between. Like anarchists are crazy and but they want freedom, and tyrannical people are crazy but they want control.
Yeah, and you're finding it like easier to like connect with like what Luke was saying because he's saying that like having just like perpetuating the whole like light side and fighting the dark side the whole time that's gone nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's only when like they both like are completely destroyed themselves then that's
I feel like there is some serious parallels to the movie and modern culture right now, like the whole never surrender, will never give in to the president kind of thing. Like that's literally what I see from
You
this.
caught him red-handed, Bailey.
You can feel that.
Like,
all the themes feel so modern and so like so superficial. Like none of it is really anything that you can really stand for, and it really says something about like our culture in general because
like
it shows you how much like none of this stuff matters. Really
yeah. So it's like it's okay if it's all BS. We're still right anyways.
So it's almost like culture. What? Culture is like there are people who are bad guys, people who are good guys, but like our culture just wants us all like to band together and be friends. But like we need to make compromises. Like what do you like? Do you think like are you saying it applies to our culture because?
Well, no, it's just it's the whole my way or the highway mentality.
Yeah, because the resistance won't budge, the new order won't budge, right?
Both sides think they're completely right, and that doesn't get any way. They're clearly both in the wrong in terms of their thought process.
How is the resistance wrong? They the Republic was around, but then they destroyed all the Republic.
The Republic just is just running from the new order.
I know
the
they
First
went
Order.
to like 3
they
different
just keep
locations.
running, and
the whole movie.
they're not their own side.
You mean the resistance,
they're
or you mean the
just-
Republic?
They're not resisting anything.
The Resistance.
They don't
Well,
have
guys, we need to remember that,
they
like-
don't have any honor. Is what it is. They don't have like any like morals. Like they don't stand for
They have
anything.
no societal structure.
No, guys,
They're a
no,
group
guys,
of
I'm
10
talking
people.
about the Republic that was a separate entity that was all destroyed, and then talking about the Resistance. You guys talking about the Resistance?
I'm talking about the Resistance. The
We're
Resistance.
talking about the resistance.
Yeah, the Republic-
So, one second, let me be quiet. Sorry. So you guys are saying that like the Republic the Resistance has like no kind of moral, like they're always just running, like they're in the wrong, or like you guys?
No, they just like they don't. They're very selfish. Like their whole thing is self-centered. We saw that when when Rose saves Poe Dameron when she
Finn was gonna sacrifice himself, but
Yeah,
instead
to blow up-
Rose just was like, no, you can't die.
And it's just
Yeah,
like
that was so-
you,
I hate,
you
like,
keep thinking
like, 'cause-
something real is gonna happen and
Yeah.
something really genuinely moving is gonna happen, and then all of a sudden you don't because we have to make 3 more movies.
Don't spin
Yeah.
to the mic, by the way.
Sorry.
But yeah, because like I thought like okay, Finn's gonna sacrifice himself. I thought
I thought that would
Honestly,
be
I
When-
felt,
when that-
I felt something in that moment.
When, okay, listen,
I finally
listen,
felt
when,
I was
when
like,
that was
yes.
happening.
You
When that
could
was
feel the
happening, I was
music
thinking there's two things gonna happen. Two things gonna happen when he was about to sacrifice himself. Either one thing, the rebels arrived, their help, their aid was gonna arrive,
or he was actually gonna die.
Yeah, I thought like, oh, that's gonna be amazing because it actually gives Finn something to do, and Rey's gonna be like, oh no, that person I knew for 10 seconds is dead now. Better to live on. Better.
Yeah,
now.
well, not only that, but like
then,
we
of
she
course,
ruined
they
it.
had to come in with this forced love story.
I love.
and have
And by the
her,
way, my
like,
sister Emily
sacrifice
Johnson
herself.
made an awesome comment where like when they kissed, like his giant lips and like her tiny little lips,
Wait,
they
they
kissed. And it was really
kissed?
funny.
Yeah.
They kid.
Yeah.
It was
For, like, 2
Like it was like a
seconds.
split second.
It was really stupid, and then she
Jada
passed out.
noticed
I
it.
would rather have Kylo and Rey get a kiss moment.
If she could get
And
past
that
that
was
nose,
of course you
would.
if she could get past that
Of course
nose,
you would.
it'd be like dunk. Like it's like trying to kiss Phineas and Ferb.
Oh my
It
god.
bounces right off.
No, but that was that. Everyone wanted to see Finn die because we wanted to see somebody stand up for
And
what they
die.
believe. Well,
Somebody
no,
finally
stand up for
yeah.
what they believe in, and
the
he was
point-
willing to do that. And she totally cucked
And that's
him.
the thing. The resistance is such a passive force. Like nobody stands up and really does anything.
So like,
Yeah.
Exactly, like
But-
when
but-
Poe
but
was
that,
like,
but that woman sacrificed herself for the rebellion. That's what she did. She gave her own life. She was a total jerk the whole time. But she didn't.
Oh
she,
yeah,
By the
you're
way-
talking about purple-haired feminist
she
professor.
let herself die. She did not sacrifice
Yeah,
herself.
no,
Oh,
but
come
that,
on,
but
she
that
sacri-
shot, okay,
Guys,
that
listen-
shot with the light
that
thing
shot-
was
that was
so
the best
cool.
shot I've
It
ever
was
seen in my
silence.
life.
I was like, oh.
Okay, reference. She turns the giant battle cruiser around and tears the other giant Sith battle cruiser
Triangle,
around.
a bunch of triangles and
a bunch of
ovals all
triangles.
attacking.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
And,
Clarity.
and she basically warped. She literally warped into the other ship and like cut it in half.
I asked
It
that
was
question all the
awesome.
time. If I was a Rebel Alliance, I'd just hyperspace
Oh, yeah.
suicide jump into all these ships.
Oh yeah, that would have been
That's what
been
you should
the
do.
best.
And like when I
ending.
saw it's that it's
Yeah,
it's
just
that
find
effect-
one martyr per ship.
Yeah, it's that effective.
Yeah.
It's
Take out
that
the
effective to take out an entire
First
fleet.
Order.
Okay, let's get 5
Allahu
our ships.
Akbar.
It's
Honestly,
bad.
I think Kylo Ren should have just like killed Leia in the beginning instead of her coming
But he
back.
should have.
didn't.
He
But
was
he didn't.
conflicted.
I think
He was
should have.
conflicted.
I think he should have.
But I guess he didn't know that she was Man of Steel anyway and wouldn't die.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about Leia. What's gonna happen next movie? Because is she gonna die again and
They
like
can't
float out of
film
space?
anything else.
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
No. What they're gonna do is because they thought they could because they got away with Tarkin and Vader.
That went
they're-
well.
Get away with
No,
it
and the only reason they got away with that was because there was only like
because it's Star Wars.
well, no, because it was like Tarkin only had like 3 lines.
5
Imagine
maybe.
doing a whole movie with CGI with CGI Carrie Fisher.
Oh,
like
that
that's
would
not
look-
gonna work.
that would look really
That's
funny.
literally gonna
It's
be
like the end of Rogue One.
no. It's gonna be it's. No, it's literally gonna be like what was it? It was like that World of Warcraft movie
Yeah,
where
man,
everything was
5 and
CGI. It was
ready.
disgusting. I don't know
Yeah.
why I saw that. I don't usually see anything.
Why would you see that?
Because my brother dragged me into it. But I
good
don't.
old
I don't
East
usually.
Dog.
I don't usually
Wow.
see anything that has a Rotten Tomatoes
like-
Rotten Tomatoes
of like
score
3?
well, no, anything below like 6. I'll usually it's 70, but I'll make exceptions for certain movies if they're
Okay.
like in the 60s.
All right, cool. So, guys, let's move on to. I have one of my notes here says we got characters, special effects. I thought everything looked pretty good except.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it looked great. The
They
one
were
part
like-
that looked weird was when they were in like the little homemade skiff things. Like when they were like CGI, like they looked a little bad because like there was like a CGI landscape and they were just kind of like jostling in these like homemade skiffs
Yeah.
on crate.
Okay, but I love that planet, whatever it was with the red ground.
Yeah,
that was
Yeah,
so
that was
the
good.
giant salt plains with
Great
the
imagery,
red,
like the explosions
Yeah,
of
it
the
was-
red puffs.
Yeah, it was
Everything
the,
was like blood.
Yeah, and like
It was-
that one
it was-
shot where it's like the cracked open the door and like there's like almost like a blood
They
splatter.
basically
of, like,
they basically went with the whole color scheme of like the red and the white. Like I don't know if you guys noticed, like even in Snoke's like little layer, like the whole thing's glowing
I loved
red.
his layer. That was good.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was that
He's-
whole.
but he's
It
wearing
was
like
beautiful.
He's wearing like a luxury like golden robe. It's not even
Oh yeah, he
intimidating.
literally looked like. I almost want to compare him to like Genghis Khan. Like I don't think any of you guys
I haven't
have
seen him recently, but
Well, no, in the Netflix series, you guys probably haven't seen.
Oh, I've
it.
seen that,
Marco
yeah.
Polo.
Marco Polo,
Yep,
yeah.
Marco Polo.
man, they
Kubla
play
Khan.
that game just forever, like every episode. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
I wish they went in the cave with like where it looked like rubies everywhere. Like they should.
They did.
Oh,
that
no,
was an
no,
awesome
no,
shot
no,
I wish
too.
they did. I wish they did more. In
No,
there.
like yeah,
When
I know
they're
what you're talking
flying
about when they're
Falcon.
hiking through it. Like that would have been a cool like
I-
space for like a final battle, kind of like
Yeah.
at the end of whatchamacallit, it's the Marvel movie, the one Chris Pratt's Pratt's
Guardians of the
movie.
Galaxy?
Yeah, Guardians
Volume
2.
two or volume
Yeah,
one?
Volume 2. Remember at the end they're in the they're in that giant cave.
Yeah.
And they're fighting
But
like
so yeah, great
it
image.
would have looked
I don't
way
remember anything
like
in
if they
that
did
movie.
if they had done something like that, like a final battle
But
in
like
there.
great
that would've
imagery.
been so cool.
I could watch like 3 hours of the Millennium Falcon, like the full on like whatever that main score is for like
Yeah,
Yes.
Star Wars. Like in the Millennium Falcon, like that's nostalgia that just gets me. So
That's about the extent. Like they should have
That's the
nostalgia.
best nostalgia.
That's the only kind. Like there's that kind of nostalgia, and then there's like really forced stuff. I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
saw, which actually really cool Easter egg. For the first, I think one of the first scenes when they're on the island training, you actually see the
X-wing.
Yeah, the X-wing in
That
the
was
water,
awesome.
and I kept telling Anthony, I'm like, I swear. If Mark Hamill or Ray pulls that thing out of the water, I'm going to get up and leave.
yeah, I was thinking
Like,
like
I
I wonder
was-
if Bailey likes
I
this
was like,
watching
I
this now.
swear, if they
So-
literally, because at
But was
that
a-
point it would have been a
it
dead-on
was cool-
copy
cool was
of
there,
5.
though. So guys, let's go back. So we've hated this movie a lot. Let's talk about nostalgia we
Yeah.
did like. What did you guys think about Yoda?
okay.
I loved Yoda.
Oh, yeah.
Yoda was awesome. What do you guys think about that?
Except for the part where he caused the lightning to come down, I thought he
Yeah.
interacted too much with the physical
Are you
world.
Thor?
Loda. Yoda's God.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, basically they just
Load.
like took all of the rules of the,
The
Force.
Force. No,
and
we're not
threw
talking
them
about
out
that.
the window.
We're talking about nostalgia we liked.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
When Luke was about to disintegrate, you could see the two suns.
Two sons, yeah.
And like wait,
That
and
was
sit back. When
Kristen is pushing
I don't
on
know.
Bailey's jugular right now. He's gasping for air. I can see his capillaries in his eyeballs. They're bustling.
and I don't know which movie it is, but you see like the two suns like rising or whatever.
That was the 4.
And
three.
now, and then at the end, they were like setting.
Why did he fade? Why did he fade? Why did he die?
Also, not they were both the same color.
It was a
and
total
in the
homage
original,
to Ben
there was
Kenobi.
one that was like
Yeah.
whiter and one that was red.
Yeah, but it was an
Interesting.
homage to
They
the
probably
two
didn't
suns
think
setting.
about that.
I mean, that was such visually speaking and nostalgically speaking,
Yeah.
like that was so good. Like, and for when he goes out of his house and he looks out onto the desert, like the clouds actually pull back and the suns appear. And
Oh, you mean
at-
like when he got up from
yeah,
like, a
yeah,
little,
well,
pike on
yeah,
the mountainside?
Like, well, no, like in 4.
Oh, and 4.
When they first show that
Oh, yeah, when
really
he walks up
iconic
the
scene,
thing,
yeah, it's sort of like the darkness sort of pulls away and these two suns rise,
Yeah.
and at the
It's-
end
Oh.
of this one, at the end of this one, the clouds sort of like go
Yeah.
into the sun and it like blocks
Yeah,
the
it's
sun,
definitely
and then he disappears.
So that's good
Yeah,
nostalgia. So
that was
so-
good.
No, I want
no.
more prequel references. Why are there no
Same.
homages to that?
Like Luke Skywalker walks on the beach, like, God, I hate sand. Like, I feel like this is like my genealogy
That
or
would've-
something. Guys, I really hope there's gonna be an amazing history about this or something. How it should have ended. Where it's Ghost Yoda show. You see the back of the head of Ghost Yoda. I was waiting for like a Ben Kenobi that was waiting for like all the dead children that Anakin Skywalker killed, and like Hayden Christensen. Because remember, in the tweaks they made to Episode 6, they edited in Hayden Christensen's at the end of the Ewok
Yeah.
dancing party, and
Yeah.
like that's really upsetted people. Because like
Yeah.
you know,
And
No,
when
I
Anakin
thought-
Skywalker
I-
Ghost. Why didn't that happen?
yeah,
I thought-
that was so funny.
Right?
No,
No, Shia LaBeouf Ghost.
I thought that end of at 6, I thought that was appropriate because they didn't have like a Darth Vader ghost, and I thought that was very misplaced. So the fact, I mean, like if they had put a Darth Vader
But
ghost
also, why
in,
was
I would have been okay
Ben
with
Kenobi
that.
still old?
Yeah.
Anakin got to be
No, or
young.
like I was hoping it'd be Darth Vader. Like when as you see him, he's like a big white pasty thing. And he's missing all of his limbs. He's just
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing. Well, no, like an older like. I don't know if they had like tried to CGI like an older Anakin, like
I
it would
hope
have
that would
looked
happen.
weird. So I guess that's why they didn't do
Yeah.
that. But like that, like I can understand the issues.
Like I just don't know why they didn't
I keep
do
hitting your leg.
Anakin and
Okay, so let's
Ewan McGregor.
Good talk. So let's talk about the good humor. I loved whenever Hutz, the pale white guy, when he was like talking to Kylo Ren, and like he's like, "Sir, we should probably hold our attack for now." And like, but then Kylo Ren just like sit the heck down, and he just force pushes him all over. He's force choking
was
him.
amazing.
He's force pushing him. He's like making him plank against like a ceiling. He's just out of my way, you know. That was funny.
Hawks was
Okay,
good
that-
comedic relief.
I'm gonna
He was the
say-
only necessary and good.
Yeah,
comedic
that
relief.
because like he's so serious. So, like in the opening,
Yeah,
when,
he's so serious, and he takes himself way too seriously. So when he
So-
gets smacked around, it's like
In the-
you really deserve that. I'm gonna laugh.
and in the opening when like like
When
he
Snoke like from a million miles away
yeah,
throws him down on the
That's
ground.
what he has
through
that
the
much,
hologram.
He has that much power. Like that's a thing. Like across
Yeah.
the universe.
Yeah,
That's
like
insane.
like a million, like several like thousands like light years away,
systems,
and
yeah.
star systems away, and he's like,
that's a thing.
Okay, but
Didn't
do you
know the
think
Force could do
just,
that.
All that like was like funny like character wise because it
Yeah.
was like, but like it's still just like that's such modern humor and it just feels like it doesn't really fit in this
is.
long time
So,
ago
and like
universe.
Poe Dameron like called out his mom basically. That was I kind of like that. It was kind of that's the kind of humor where it's like it's kind of pushing it because like they really had like hold in like the Star Wars universe. Like
Yeah.
I'm
oh
on
yeah,
hold.
the please
Like-
hold thing. I was like, that's
there was
so
so much,
out of
okay.
so
that's
much
so
references
out of,
to like
no, I thought
modern
that was,
technology and
yeah,
stuff.
I thought that was out of place. Like there's no
Yeah.
phones. Like the please hold thing.
It
like
felt very Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
did.
I was like,
It
wow,
did.
someone watched Guardians of the Galaxy again before filming this movie.
yeah.
So let's okay. One more thing. Let's talk about
It was a Disney movie.
Yeah, good.
It was a Disney movie.
And now Disney's
Okay,
buying
but
Fox, so
could it-
Deadpool's gonna be
could
Disney
it
too.
yeah,
so that's
Deadpool's
not
gonna
good.
have
And people don't know.
yeah.
Fox and Marvel
yeah,
two different things.
Disney-
So Fox owns Deadpool and it owns Mutants, and Marvel owns all the Avengers and now Spider-Man, who used to be owned by Sony, but now Marvel and like
Yeah, Disney's buying everyone and everything.
Yeah, Disney owns Marvel now. It's going to own Fox, which means
Yeah, Disney
that,
announced
like,
today.
Wolverine can show up in the Avengers for all we care now. You know, in Avengers 17.
But that happened in the comics. That did happen in the comics, but it was like
Oh,
the weird
They're
version
just
of the
losing
comics.
all their ideas and just like
Yeah.
putting
Yeah,
them
so they're
all in
having
the
to
same movie.
buy.
No,
I will be
literally,
so upset if they
listen.
ruin Deadpool. Gosh, don't
I know.
even get me.
Disney can't do Deadpool.
Disney
says,
can't do Deadpool.
Like freaking
Disney cannot do
Thor and
Deadpool.
Guardians of the Galaxy. and the
Oh
new-
no! Disney
not
cannot do
Avengers.
Deadpool because Deadpool is not a PC
Yeah,
movie.
he
If-
says,
if-
"Holy fudge knuckles, I am high as a cat right now." You guys see that
okay,
teaser
no,
for
but
it?
like
That
he
was great.
insults everyone. Right?
And it just
yeah.
says the F bomb, C bomb, whatever bombs
Well,
there are.
No. He just insults everyone.
Everyone.
And you
It's like
can't
a
do that
Borat.
as a Disney movie because then
Exactly.
everyone gets pissed off at Disney. Disney.
I
stop
would
it."
love
Yeah.
to see like a meet and greet at Disney World with Deadpool. Like
Yeah.
that would be hilarious.
That would be amazing.
Okay. Anyway, we're getting off track here.
No, but okay, let me say this. So
About
in
Star
the,
Wars or
yes,
okay, sorry.
or just the movie industry as a whole.
Oh, here we go.
They are making like you know how they make hot dogs and it's just like all the
Yes.
crap we don't eat and they pile it all into one.
That's this movie.
That's every movie. That's every movie that they make. It's just a big beef jerky thing of
But then
everything piled together, and you're like, this is
Aren't there
okay.
Anomalies
anomalies
like
like
everything everyone likes.
what about Baby Driver? That wasn't. I couldn't think of
Okay,
anything.
but that's
yeah.
totally different. That's in a
'Cause
totally
it's
different
not a
category.
franchise. Like
Yeah.
we can talk about this for hours.
That's
but,
a standalone movie.
Yeah,
and
exactly. I know.
Also, the cast, the writing for that movie. Shout out to my boy.
Edgar Wright.
I would have been saying.
No,
a
I
lot
was
more
gonna say
about
shout out
this
to my
Kevin
boy
Spacey in the
Spacey.
background. No, don't say Kevin Spacey.
I'm just yanking the chain.
Women listen to this podcast too, Bailey. Go.
Aw.
But he's gay,
didn't
so it
realize-
makes it okay, right, guys?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
he's
it's
gay.
okay.
What an idiot. So I have molested and done terrible things to women, but I'm gay, so it's okay.
No, it was a 14-year-old
love-
I
boy.
didn't know who I was.
yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Basically.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey. Interesting fellow. Okay, hold up. Can we just can
No.
I just say one thing
Okay,
about Kevin
about-
Spacey?
about- no,
How did
we're
we
not-
not know he was gay?
I
Because
did.
we've all seen There's two separate
guys,
scenes.
guys, we're
there's
over this,
two
we're over this.
there's
We're-
two separate
we're
scenes.
back to
Hold
Star
up.
Wars.
There's two separate scenes in House of Cards where he literally had like Kevin Spacey had scenes written in where like he kissed two dudes.
Okay, we get it.
It was totally like not
Okay.
driven like character.
Blah,
like,
blah,
it
blah,
was
blah.
weird. Yeah.
We're talking about Star Wars again.
I need
So, we talked about action, special effects. Those all look pretty good. So, Bailey just walked away to get water. But what do you guys think? Do you think that this movie was worse or better than The Force Awakens?
Way
better.
It's not really a
Parts
question
were
about
better,
that.
parts were worse.
Yeah, exactly.
So
There's certain scenes
terms
that
of
made me
what?
cringe out of my pants, and
Yeah,
there
in
were
terms
certain
of-
scenes that made me
Yeah.
jump out of my shoes with excitement.
So a gun to Bailey's head. It's to choose Force Awakens or Last Jedi. Which one's your favorite? Which one? If you were trapped on a desert island, which one do you choose?
Force Awakens.
Really?
Force Awakens.
Dang.
I thought the only thing I
seen The Force Awakens.
yeah Kayla hasn't seen
Yeah,
it.
Kayla hasn't seen
I think the
Force
only
That was not Kayla, that was my grandfather, Jimmy.
John's.
Jimmy Schmidt.
Jimmy John's.
Papa John's.
So yeah, I like.
John.
I'm gonna choose Last Jedi over Force Awakens. Easy.
Um,
I choose Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question, but one more thing, guys. We've got to talk about this. So, were you guys okay with Luke's death / fade out, fade to black, literally?
no, I thought he should have had.
Yeah, I thought.
I thought he should have had a real death instead of
50-50.
pulling an
Yeah,
Obi-Wan.
I thought it was gonna be like. I thought because he basically said the line, "Track me down, I'll be with you forever," or whatever. I was hoping that Kylo Ren was like slice him, and when he turns around, like he's just gone, like even his robes aren't there.
Yeah,
He's
that
just
would have been
nude.
Okay, well,
okay. The reveal would not have blown people's minds as much, but it would have been more emotionally impactful.
If he
Like-
was killed if he was actually on Crate.
Yeah.
Wait a second. So he he astral projected even to talk to Leia.
yeah,
Whoa.
that was the weird thing. He because I don't think anyone.
Kissed Leia.
Yeah,
On
like
the
he
forehead.
like he had
with
a
the
physical.
Force.
Well, no, but he physically
And
interacted
dice,
with everything.
The dice. He
Yeah.
gave them to her.
Yeah,
and
he-
they
The dice
disappeared later.
the dice
They
disappeared.
disappeared.
Like,
Yeah.
is Christopher
Okay,
Nolan
hold up.
directing this now?
Well, no, here was the thing I didn't understand. He could interact with everyone and everything else, but the world itself would not affect
Couldn't
him.
react to
Yeah,
him, 'cause he
yeah,
got shot a bunch
he
of-
got blown up by like. It was like
But
10
when he-
AT walkers.
When he like
They
scuffed
all
off
shoot at
his
him.
shoulder, that was awesome. That was like
Oh no! I literally
I would
cringed.
interact,
I
though,
literally,
because-
that's
I
a Marvel-
literally thought, "Wow, this is why I was just about to like."
that's
I
a Marvel
literally
movie
said,
right there. Like that's totally, if that was the Thor, that he would totally do that. You know?
"Yeah."
When him and Kylo were fighting, though, like their lightsabers were hitting each other. So I'm so
Yeah.
confused.
So he could
Yeah,
interact with the physical world, but it couldn't
did-
interact with him.
Did his lightsabers hit though?
Yeah, they did. They
I don't
did.
know,
They
shot
clearly
it
did.
in very severe close-ups.
No. There was one part where like their
touched. Yeah,
where
'cause I was
lightsabers
thinking-
like physically like they met each
Yeah.
other and like they looked at each other.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
definitely new.
All I'm saying
Anyway.
is the lightsaber fights in this movie were very bad.
No.
Oh, yeah.
There was like two.
No, but
There
going
was-
going
yeah.
back to it. So
Actually, there was one that I just forgot about, and I remembered.
No,
There was
no,
one that
the,
was
the
good.
Snoke where they
Kylo-
fight all the bodyguards.
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
cool.
Kylo Ren killed Snoke, which, by the way, Snoke's legs fell off the stand later when Hux was there. That was funny. I like that. The fight.
Why did they fall
I
off
don't know.
later?
I feel
I
like
don't
this
know.
universe
It was
doesn't take
forced.
itself
It was
seriously.
a forced.
They had
It was
to
a
go, They
forced.
had to go to the
It was
bathroom.
no.
When you
It
have
was
to go. You
it
have
was
to go. You don't.
no,
risk
but
your
it was
top
one
half.
of those. It was one of those forced jokes again. Like it
Yeah.
didn't. Like it wasn't necessary.
But
Everything
anyway.
felt like it took itself
So
seriously.
guys, listen. I'm going back. I'm going back to the action. Let's talk about the action.
It's like when Count Dooku loses
yeah.
his head.
That
Like,
was almost funny.
Well, no, it's like when Count Dooku loses his head. You don't see his body get up and walk around after that. Like what?
He's not C-3PO in episode 2. Let's not talk about that.
No, it's
Listen,
just because
okay, so we talked about special effects, talked about character, talked about plot. Let's talk about the action. And so far, my opinion for it, and people interrupt me, I thought that the space fight
Oh yeah, it was great.
with Poe Dameron, like that was pretty
Great.
sweet. Also, when Kylo Ren and Rey were teaming up to fight those like vanguards or whatever.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
like that,
the-
I'm like they have interesting new weapons we haven't seen before. I'll give them props to that. Like they have like a weird chain thing that he was using as like almost like nunchucks.
Yeah, and then like the weird sort of skimitar looking like break off.
Yeah. But then
yeah.
like I'm like, okay, so this is interesting new things we haven't seen before, right? But
Yeah.
maybe the comics, I don't know.
That's literally the only. But I feel like that's the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
thing they took liberty with.
But when
They took liberty with the Force.
yeah, but like
And the bomb.
But
Well,
we listen.
like
the
realistically
butthole.
speaking.
Okay, let's
realistically
just all talk
speaking.
over Drew Johnson. Okay,
Sorry.
But like, they're Kylo Ren and Rey's fight. I'm like, so I was thinking the whole time, like, so are Rey and Kylo gonna fight again, or like Emperor Palpatine, dude, can't remember his name now. All of a sudden, Snoke, is he gonna fight them? But when they teamed up and they fought, like we haven't seen like a 2-on-2 versus other lightsaber users before.
Also,
but anyway, when like there was some sweet action, like when she threw the Luke's lightsaber at him and he like caught it, and, like he lit for a second and went to that guy's face.
Oh, yes.
That was awesome.
that was
It's
okay.
like, Joom, Joom, and it's like over. It's like
This is one of the questions that I have that they're probably not going to answer is if I don't know if you guys remember, but who was it? Mark Hamill's character. Luke says that like Kylo took other like Padawans with him, and I was like, what happened to them?
Right.
Yeah,
and I was like, is that like Snoke's Imperial Vanguards? Like,
I guess they would have been.
like,
they would have told
like
us.
what happened
What
to
was
them?
said
What
Kylo
happened to
killed
them?
them all, but like
No.
why weren't
No.
He
Luke's-
killed. No, remember, Luke says, Mark Hamill's character says, like, he killed a bunch of Padawans and took a handful with him. Where's the handful?
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those are
what?
supposed to be the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, so
maybe
the
they'll
Knights
be in
of
the
the Knights
next
of Ren,
movie.
the Knights of Ren
Okay,
are
I feel like
is Revenant. That's Darth
'Cause, like,
Revenant.
the kid at the end, when with the
You mean
broom?
Tiny Tim?
Yeah, with the broom and they
that was
pointed up,
stupid.
they
He had
That-
a ring.
I literally,
Wait, is he
I
a Green
literally,
Lantern?
I
Is that where
literally,
it's all
So
gonna,
dumb.
it's all where it's all going to connect. He's a Green Lantern with the
Foreshadowing.
ring, and he's going to get the Marvels, the DC universe, the Marvel universe are all going to connect. It's going to be
And then
amazing.
Disney's gonna buy Warner Brothers.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
and then Google, and then Apple, and then the world.
Yes.
There won't
Trump
be,
will stop it.
there won't be enough. He'll build walls
Like,
everywhere.
yeah, he'll build a wall around
Gotta
Disney.
cage China in first.
He'll
and then,
he'll build a giant wall around
Yeah,
Disney
okay.
World
Listen, if
and
you-
land.
If they
not
had-
land.
If they had just cut out all the parts with Poe and
Yeah,
the
those were way too
Asian
long.
and the black
and the blue and the
Finn.
purple hair.
Oh, guys, we have a guest star coming in. He's just
stealing a
food.
brownie.
That's kind of. Dad, do you have any closing remarks? You were alive during the second Star Wars.
Yeah,
What do
let's
you
hear
think?
yours.
Barrett
So
Johnson.
this is Drew's father chiming in for a moment here. Number one, I was 9 years old when I first saw Star Wars in the
He's a vet.
theaters, and of course blew my mind. You youngsters don't know what you're talking about. Secondly, my thought was when Kylo Ren and Rey were having their battle, and Kylo Ren killed. We already had spoiler alert, haven't we?
Yeah,
we
we haven't
we've crossed
done
that line.
non-spoiler.
So killed Snoke.
No,
Thank you.
Snoopy.
Bad dude. So they were fighting together against bad guys. My thought was, okay, just turn good. Who's the bad guy in the story now? We have no bad guy.
Yeah.
We have no evil, sinister person to overthrow for like movie 3 or the rest of this movie.
It'll be Jar Jar.
And then, I realized, you know what? He just killed Snoke so he could take over and be the bad guy. That's what
Yeah.
happened. So I saw that after a few minutes there.
I thought it'd be like, oh, he just killed the bad guy, so now it's all good now. We're all gonna be best friends, but now he's bad. Anyway, so that's good
Wait,
talk,
I
Dad.
didn't finish what I was saying.
Sorry, Kristen, continue.
Okay, so if you just cut out the parts on the ship with Leia and Poe and the parts with Finn,
Cut all of Finn.
and you just
I like
developed
Pose. I like
Finn
Pose.
and Rey.
Because Poe had a mini arc in this movie where it was like Leia Organa totally copped him. He was like a detective, like you have control, Smoxy, but gosh darn it, you get the job done. Like by the end, when we were all gonna go to that battering ram, he decides not to do it. He's like, it's a suicide run, but then Finn does it. I was like, okay, so that's a tiny arc that he
And it's
did.
like,
Can I-
wow, you learned your lesson. Good.
Finn should have definitely died, and also Finn's storyline could be cut out completely.
He doesn't add anything to the
Yeah.
story at all.
Okay, I think the only way that this story would have worked is if it had been a miniseries. Like if they had taken a
Whoa,
lot of
a
time.
Netflix
no, if they,
miniseries.
yeah, something like a Netflix miniseries because they tried to take they tried to do too many characters, too many stories, and they couldn't develop any of them properly. So everyone was just left wondering like, why are people making this decision? Like this doesn't make any sense.
So
Wait, hold on. I need to say
we're an
something.
hour and 8 minutes in, so if it's as long as it's a minute long, Anthony, you do it fast.
I was about to say, as the father, that you kids need to wrap this up in about 10 minutes. It's past your bedtimes, and get off my lawn.
No, we're inside, but
Go.
so Anthony, you have 30 seconds and don't talk slow. Go.
Okay, when this movie took itself seriously, it was really good.
Yeah.
But you have 3 stories going on, and it's, like we said, Kylo and Rey, and that was the one that took itself seriously. It was great. Then you have the comic relief / humanitarian story, and that was
SJW.
like Finn and Rose.
Was the SJ? Yeah, that was like the
And
Jack
it's like,
and Rose.
and it's like that had an agenda, and it was to be comic
And-
relief
and same with-
save the animals.
yeah.
And
Save the
with the Poe and
Poe and
all
the
the women on
Admiral.
the ship,
Yeah.
it was to have some kind of weird
nod to like
conflict
SJW. Yeah.
between the SJW and like blah blah blah.
What do you guys
and
talk?
stuff.
SJW. What are you guys talking
I don't
about?
know.
Social justice warrior, like
Yes.
the whole PC culture, like it's
And
not
it's just
really
like
it's not
if
really
you-
like, it's women empower. It's not that I have anything against women empowerment, but it's like
Everyone-
women
you're
are seen
trying
as
to
like
propagate it
yeah,
in
but
a-
no,
in a
like in the
movie
movie,
that
like
it's
they're seen as
obvious.
like superior.
No, they're not. I don't know.
No,
I'm not
no,
gonna
no.
go-
They look
no,
down on him.
Yeah, yeah, they
Because
look
he's a
down on
hotshot, 'cause
Yeah,
he
they
made
look
a
down.
mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
which,
he's a man.
If they
No,
had
no,
come
because-
to
no,
the
but they, like, they
realization
attribute,
that they
like-
both have a place in this whole
Yeah,
thing,
in the whole
then that
story.
would have made sense. But
Like-
but they ended with Poe being like, "Oh, you know what? You are right."
Yeah, even though he
So
no,
annoying.
even though no, he was Poe was clearly
he was
in the right. Like if
absolutely
their plan had worked, which in Star Wars fashion it usually works. That was
The
actually
bad guys' plan or the good guys' plan?
good guys' plan, where
'cause-
they try to break onto the ship
Yeah,
and,
'cause he
and
stopped the-
destroy the
he stopped
sensors.
the
Like that
cruise-
plan would have worked.
He stopped the cruisers from being destroyed. Also in the beginning, like
Yeah.
he wasn't. He stopped it- if the giant cans were still on, they would have destroyed the cruiser and everyone would be dead. But Poe made
Yeah.
the right decision and did it.
It's just another faction movie.
Yeah,
Here we go. Okay, so
But the thing is, we had like 5 or 6 new characters, and the only ones we cared about were Benicio del Toro and Luke,
Is that the-
because those are the characters who had
well,
development.
Luke's not a new character, but
What the heck happened?
We
to
didn't
Benicio?
meet Luke in the last
He
movie,
just gone.
He just disappeared.
He's just gone.
poof.
but he's still he's
Benicio.
new to this. He's still new to
that's
this.
good right there.
Like whatever you call this
Reboot, I guess.
sequel.
Anyway,
I don't know.
so we're at the, like an hour and 11 minutes here, guys. So
Can I just
Oh,
say
no, no,
one final thing?
Okay,
one final thing.
Less than a minute. Let's go.
The purpose of Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher's characters were to provide a sense of nostalgia.
And
And I think
now
they
it's not Star
acknowledge
Wars.
that.
But they also
Yeah.
pass the torch because like
Yeah, they're supposed
now-
to be patching the torch, and they even say that in all their interviews, except for Carrie Fisher, who's still alive for some reason.
not in real.
Like not in real life, obviously, but like in the
that's
movie.
the thing, because what are they gonna do from now on?
Yeah, so Carrie Fisher's
she's
the
gone.
last one alive, but she's literally the only one that like
Yeah,
isn't alive in real life.
But the
which
weird thing
seems
is,
so backwards.
The weird thing is that
It's
like
very ironic.
Force Awakens was Harrison Ford's movie. This movie was Luke Skywalker's movie, Mark Hamill's movie.
So I guess the last
the-
one's
the-
Carrie Fisher's.
But
yeah.
she's gone.
But she's dead, so it doesn't.
So
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm viewing this as Carrie Fisher was kind of like the first and second movie. So that means that the third movie is just going to be all about the new kids.
Can I
Because
just
like if you realize this, Poe Dameron and Rey met in like the last 10 minutes of the movie. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, for the first time, even though they've been sort of
On the
critical.
same base.
Yeah, they've been sort of critical to the story, and I feel like there have been other times where they would
Also,
have actually met.
fan service also. Chewie and Leia finally hugged because in the last movie everyone criticized because after
that
Harrison
was
Ford was
stupid.
killed, Chewie just walked off and they arrived back at base. Because remember, Leia hugged Rey, but like Chewie just walked off
Yeah.
even though they'd known each other for like 30 years.
Oh, but Chewie is so sad. He just wanted to be alone.
Also, guys, major character death we didn't even talk about. Admiral Akbar is dead.
Oh yeah, that was.
I forgot he was in
I
this
was
Yeah.
so
movie.
sad.
that?
Okay. Admiral Akbar was.
Trump.
Yeah, it's a trap guy.
It's a Trump.
Yeah, those
No,
are
but
my
okay,
favorites.
I miss that guy
Okay,
so much.
blue-haired or purple-haired feminist professor should not have been the one to pull the Wallahu Akbar.
It should have.
It should
It should have been.
Akbar!
It should have been Admiral Akbar. It should have. It literally should have been. He should have been the
you
one
just
to fly
regurgitated
that
into the
thing.
mic. All I heard in my headphones I'm wearing was just like.
Yeah, he should have. No,
was
he should
trying
have
to
been
get
the
that
one to
ear
fly
rape.
the
I'm
ship.
gonna need
and-
spit blockers from now on. Goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he should have been. He should have been the one to fly into the other spaceship.
Admiral
That-
Akbar, you'll be
that
forever
would have
missed. I
been- that
love-
would have been-
I want him to say it's a trap. Like that's
People-
all I want.
No, people would have gotten pissed off if they had actually done
know.
that.
There is a
But-
major
but it
flaw
would have been-
with
but that
Star
would have been
Wars
like-
as a whole.
Okay,
Yeah.
like in
And
terms
it's
in
that
terms.
everyone wants to rule the galaxy, and
It's like
no
Game of
matter
Thrones.
what the
Nobody
dark side
wants
is,
to.
or no matter what the light
Yeah.
side is, both sides just want to have complete control
Yeah,
over
that's
everything.
and
life.
it's stupid. I think, and
And
that's
you
why
can't really side with either
All
one.
right, guys.
Except
we
for
talked a
Kylo.
good amount. Where did my paper
Yes.
go? Oh, there it is.
because he actually tries to move towards the middle,
And
and,
blue.
Alright,
and
guys.
Ray's just like, no,
Alright,
fuck
guys.
you.
Danny DeVito had
Okay,
a
did you just
bigger
say the F bomb
parts.
on here because we can't post this now?
Gotta get final comments.
Okay,
Final-
guys.
final
okay,
comments.
listen, guys. Listen. So we've had some good talks about this. So we've talked about a lot about like the style of this movie, is nostalgia good, is nostalgia bad. Let's move into final thoughts. Like I said in my opening that like this is like a solid 9 out of 10 for me. You guys really talked me down because there are some bad plot things, but at because there is a critical point of me where it's like, well, wasn't Luke Howsey a ghost the whole time? But Inception, what? But at the same time, like I'm a fanboy. Like there was a lady next to me, like who was just like, you need to calm down, kid. I was like, no, it's Star Wars. I just kept looking forward. So I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. I loved it as a viewer.
I think that's
down
fair.
by 1 point.
I understand.
Honestly,
I
I
understand the
think
critical
that's
analysis.
fair for you. I think
I did like it, but I understand if you guys were like, this guy, the nostalgia of it just ruins everything. The comedy, I didn't mind the comedy in Force Awakens. The comedy in this definitely was worse.
It was okay. So I'm gonna stick with my. I'm actually gonna move it down half a point. I'll keep it at 6. I'll keep it at 6 out of 10.
Ooh.
And plot wise, it was horrible. Character wise, it was okay. The only okay part was once again Rey and Kylo.
Yeah.
Everything else like graphics, the actual, I guess the visual effects. That was really like the only thing it had going for it.
Yeah.
Like the entertainment value was
of it.
Yeah, the spectacle of it and the entertainment value was the only thing it had going for it, and that's literally like that's 5. That's like 5 of my 10 points.
There's
and then
no rewatchability.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, unless you're watching it with someone new who hasn't seen it yet. Like I watched Force Awakens with my brother-in-law who doesn't have time to watch stuff like
Yeah.
we do, and like he loved it. I was like, yeah, this is a good time to watch.
Okay, so let me finish. So
Yeah.
5 of the points go to like the entertainment value, and the 1 point goes to like driving, I guess, Rey and Kylo's characters a little bit more.
Yeah, plot.
And that's it. That's it.
All right,
like everything else doesn't matter.
Kristen, what do you think? 1 out of 10.
Okay, so I'm not doing that, but I have to say my
Definitive scores, that's how it
favorite
works.
part was Kylo's eye twitch. It twitched like 3 or 4 times, and it was so good.
Huh.
It just made him seem more mad and crazy.
I like how the mask disappeared. By the way, just saying that.
an Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you had to give this a movie, like you won't give it a 1 out of 10 apparently, but will you give it like? Would you recommend this to somebody else? Would you say like this is terrible, this is bad, it's okay, this is fun? Like what's your view of it? Like
Fun, okay.
I mean,
Bailey just said it's fun and okay, which I can admit.
yeah,
It's entertaining.
It's okay.
it's a good
fun
adventure.
Good adventure movie. Why not? It's good for the
It
kids.
gives you an adventure. Whether it's good or not is debatable. It has its good parts. It has its trash.
All right, all right. So we got me.
They go back to the trash compactor.
Yeah, when Captain Phasma was like, we'll find out what to do with you, I was like, is she going to say trash compactor? Because that'd be the ultimate thing. Sorry. Kayla, what do you think? Your expert opinion after watching one of the movies.
Okay, well,
1 out of 10.
I think for anyone who doesn't really know the Star Wars movies would be like an 8 out of 10. But for like
Ooh.
a Star Wars fan, it's like a 5 or a 6.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
And
Yeah.
I wish Danny DeVito was in it more.
who's Danny DeVito? Who's Danny
He
DeVito?
didn't have a big enough part.
Who's Danny DeVito?
Danny
The guy with the
DeVito.
big face.
No, he was the little grumpkin thingy at the casino.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Anthony, what do you think?
Wait.
That was
Star
was
Wars, more like Land Wars.
Okay.
No, there was that
They
thing.
were in space
Yeah.
for literally
The whole
more
time.
than half the movie.
Yeah.
Like I would say 75%
Anthony.
of the movie.
Anthony, final thoughts. Final gulp. The last straw. The big kahuni.
What am I saying?
The final countdown. Your review of it.
What you liked,
1
so-
out
Okay.
of 10. Final
Like-
thoughts.
Story, yes or no.
I am not
Overall.
a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I
You're critical,
am
Peg.
a
Lord of the
fan.
Rings.
I am a fan of the original trilogy because I think those are really good films. And I think relative to those, this movie's really just a
Stop screaming
5
for
out
the
of
mics,
10.
Bailey.
I just
All right,
With
so
with what I said earlier before, where like every movie kind of just starts at 5 out of 10, goes up
Wow.
or down from there.
so we got 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, and 8 out of 10, and
And an eye twitch.
an eye twitch from Kristen. Kayla, what physical bodily movement PG would you give this movie?
An utter squeeze.
Oh yeah, a bowling ball.
Thick thunder thighs.
Oh, I like it. So
No, it was her calves.
So that's our
Thunder thighs.
Oh, Kylo. Oh, I thought you were talking about Rey. No, Rey's
those pecs
calves.
though.
Yeah,
boy.
like Kylo has such a good voice too. Like he's like, it's all down here, but it's not like Batman. But it's just like
He's like a Teletubby on
It's like
crack or
Kevin
He
something.
sounds
Conroy.
like rubbing
Okay.
two rubber gloves
Yeah.
together.
Can I give a final
it's
summary
blue.
of basically everyone's thoughts?
Yeah.
He should be Nightwing.
Okay, so final summary. I think we can all agree this story and the plot had a lot of holes, but it was entertaining.
Yeah.
So graphics wise,
Fun ride.
the musical score was great. I
as
think everyone
always.
can agree. There was a lot of nostalgic moments, but some of them were forced. That was I think an issue that a lot of us
No
had. A
pun
lot of them were
intended.
forced. Same with the comedies. A lot of them was forced, and yeah, the force was holy heck. They took
Oh, yeah,
so
I
much
guess-
liberty
May
with
the
the
force
force.
be with you. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah, when the two women said it,
Yeah.
I was like, that's bad. That's
Yeah.
bad.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
because
Let me
there was-
finish.
Sorry,
Let me
Bailey.
finish. So.
I thought you were American.
yeah. The only character development came from Kylo and Rey. Nobody else's character was developed, and that's about it. That's basically
All right.
all
Well,
we can
Poe
say.
got his lesson for the day. So.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Poe
even
got
though
his
he was
lesson
kind of
from
right.
his mom's.
Yeah, even though he's kind of right. All right.
All right, I think
I think that just about sums it up. I think all around kind of meh and negative.
meh and positive and meh.
Positive.
Positive. I'm more positive.
Okay, so
I'm
we got
Honestly, I'm meh and meh.
So like,
yeah.
so
I'm more meh to
You guys
negative.
would all
I'm
just,
balanced.
You guys would
I'm
all
the
just say
gray.
meh. You guys wouldn't say plus or minus. Y'all just say meh.
meh. Yeah.
It's
I'm
a
a
lot of-
plus, a slight plus, but okay. So that's it. That's the end of our first episode of the podcast, guys. I really like doing this. Maybe if we get a fourth mic working, that'd be nice. But
I think
Maybe.
we should change this podcast name to the Negative Nancy's.
nah, because I'm positive.
No, there's only two of us.
Okay.
So
Everyone else
stop
is
being my
positive.
brownies, people. I know Reese's cups are in it. It's really great.
Yeah,
So
peanut butter.
we might do another podcast episode about. No, stop smacking in the mic. We might do another episode about like the best of things of 2017. Just summarize that and like kind of debate about what our favorites are and stuff.
Was there anything good about 2017?
Baby Driver.
That's about it.
Last Jedi. Stuff we can talk about. Best
Oh,
comedy,
yeah,
best comedy,
yeah,
best horror,
movie-wise,
Split,
yeah.
Get Out. Anyway,
Split was so good.
yeah. So this is our
I didn't see that.
this is our summary. Stop goofing off, guys. God. So this is it, guys. Thank you for the podcast. Anthony, tell us where they can find us.
You could
Choke.com.
you can find me in your dreams.
Okay, great. So that wraps up the podcast. Thank you for listening to It's Nice to Woe. Hopefully we'll get this out on YouTube or something eventually someday. And that is wrapping up.
No, Anthony needs to say it.
Anthony needs to say it.
It's nice to whoa.